Watch this video and try not to think of me while it's on. Seriously.
What's up, guys? Drone worship in your face, and just kick things off here, we're going to go ahead and start this off with our channel sponsor, Vaptur. This video is made possible because of Vaptur, so we're going to give them the proper shout out that's due here. If you guys have not had an opportunity to check this app out, I totally encourage you to, especially if your editing skills are not wonderful. This app actually simplifies some of the process without actually having to do some editing. Now, this is very simple editing. So for instance, there is a big window and a small window. In the small window, there's an 8-second delay from what you see on the big window. The big window is running at real time. The small window is 8 seconds behind the big window. So what it allows you to do is capture moments. So you watch the big window and you know what's coming on the window, right? And then when you're ready to capture the moment, you click on the small window, it starts recording, and when you've captured the moment you want, you stop. So basically it's running two windows, a small one and a big one. The big one's real time, the small one is 8 seconds behind. And it allows you to do very easy editing, because you're just picking the part of the video out without having to actually learn editing software. So it's a very neat app. So shout outs to Vaptur for making this possible, and let's go ahead and kick off 2020.
What's up there, guys? Drone worship in your face, and I have the Fimi A3 out here, and this is actually the second time I have to redo this flight because I had accidentally deleted my headcam footage from earlier. So we're gonna do it again. You guys already saw the mod video, so you know that I modified the antenna, and I'm gonna tell you why I did the mod before I tested all the features of the drone. And that's because when we went to do the original test of the drone, it only made it 100 meters, and that was it. It wouldn't go any further. I had to put a bigger antenna on it for it to go further. I think in the scheme of things, it's a very simple mod to make this drone work good. So I'm not mad. This quad is slowly growing on me, let's put it that way. So we are using the 8-man A80 action camera today for this footage. I hope it's okay. The audio is definitely not as good as my GoPro, but we're going to keep using it here. I do kind of like what it has to offer, so we'll keep playing with it. If I don't like it, I'll go back to my GoPro and we'll see what happens. But here's the modified transmitter, as you guys can see. Ooh, it's all beautiful. Look at it, it's all beautiful. Oh. The only downside that I really find to this transmitter is that the screen is not very bright. TDR, True Drone Reviews, is absolutely correct. This screen they chose to put on here is mediocre compared to what they could have gone with, and it is a major downfall of this quad. However, I am an FPV flyer. I do have 5.8 goggles that I can use with this. I had a look in them earlier and they look really clean. I'll do another video of me flying with goggles on at a later point. Today we're going to do return to home testing, speed testing, ADI mode, overall camera quality and gimbal, and then later on we'll do the special features and all that other bump, all that other craziness. So let's turn this on. I'm going to power this up here. Long press on the transmitter, boom, it's powered on. As you guys can see, we got numbers and stuff. I'm going to tap the quad one time on the bottom and then hold it down. Powering on. So we'll do an accuracy test here. I have FPV. I can see where this would frustrate a lot of people. I can manage to put up with a lot of stuff that a lot of people can't. I can definitely see, even though it's Florida and it's sunny, I can see it. It's not as bright as I would like it to be, but it's doable. I can definitely fly like this if I had to. I think even with it in the sunlight, if I just kind of put it in my shadow, I can easily see still. So I think with a hood, a hood visor on this, it would probably be acceptable to me. A lot of other people are probably going to have an issue with this, but this does have GLONASS. Let's get that out of the way now. It does run on standard American GPS and GLONASS, which is Russian satellites, and I do love that this has a DIY port plug-in, a pin-out bracket on the PCB board on the bottom of this for plugging in external gimbals, extra lighting, bait drop systems, whatever you want to. This is a small little open source platform. It's fantastic. It's like a miniature Solo, just not nearly as good, but it's still good. I'm having fun with this thing. TDR, I'm sorry you didn't have a good experience, man. I know this screen is definitely a killer. I'm gonna agree with you on that one, man. It's very dark. I can still see, but it is very dark. I have to give you that, man. It's definitely dark. But as far as functionality, flying and all that, I think we're in agreement. It does an excellent job of all of the above. So let's get this thing in the air. It says I have 16 satellites currently on the transmitter here, and I am in GPS mode. I have a return to home here button. This is for all your special functionality. We'll go into that toggle later. Okay, and then on the back here, we're going to take a picture during this flight, and we're also going to hold this down to start a recording. So let's get this in the air. I'm going to hold the left button down on the back of the transmitter here to start a recording. On the screen here it shows that we are recording, so we're going to do a manual takeoff. We'll go down and in with the control sticks to arm the motors. You'll see they'll start on the quad here. Down and in, motors are armed. We'll give it some throttle and it should go up. Beautiful. We'll let it sit there for a sec. Calculate its position, make sure everything's working how it should. So far so good. It's holding its position very well. I do have FPV. Looks fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and push this antenna forward just a tad because I am going to be flying like that, so we're going to go ahead and push that one. I'm going to have this tilted back at myself here. Let me adjust the EV comp to 0. That's 0.7. There we go. We have 0 EV comp. Good to go. I have perfect FPV and it seems to be holding its position very well. I think the first thing I want to do, guys, is a dynamic shot. I want to do a drop away of myself going that way. We call this a reverse drop away or a reveal shot. It is executed by pulling back on the right stick slowly and then picking up the speed as you go and then slowly raising the altitude as we go. So I'll pull back to get it going backwards first. I'll start picking up the speed and then I'll give it a little bit of altitude at the same time. We call this a reveal shot. I have good FPV. I'm going to keep pulling back on the stick until I'm going full speed backwards. 15 miles an hour, 16, 20. We're at 21 miles per hour. Still doing good. All right, we are currently at 600 feet away. We're killing it, people. We are absolutely killing it. That's probably pretty good for a reveal shot. We're almost 1,000 feet away. I'm going to go ahead and push the return to home button here so we can check the accuracy. I'm going to hold it down. Auto returning to home. Let's see how accurate the return to home actually is. I have it set down here. You can see where it took off from. It is currently turning around right now. It just turned all the way around. It's going up. Let's see what it's doing here. Is it going to come back backwards? Let me tilt the gimbal down so I can see the ground a little better. Alright, I can see the ground here. It's still going up. I forget what I have my RTH value set at. I think it was like 80 meters, so it's got quite a climb here before it starts coming back down. It looks like it is coming back now. So it's definitely pretty high up there, I would say. So you should be seeing it here any sec. There it is. You can see it coming. Well, you guys might not be able to see it on camera, but it's right there. So I'll go ahead and hold this out for a second. We'll just let it come back under its own power. I have a very weird car just sitting here monitoring my situation. I'm going to wave at him. Hi, guys. You always get the curious person out here. So 17 satellites. It is 50 feet away, 30 feet away. It's 230 feet high. I'm going to look straight up. You should be able to see it right above us now. There she is, coming down. Let's see how accurate it is. I'm going to step back a little bit because it looks like it's behind me. Oh, it just went forward, so that's good. That's a plus. We'll hold this out here and see how close it gets. Hopefully the propellers don't hit that rock. If it looks like it's going to, I'm going to stop the return to home. Man, it looks like it's pretty much on dot right now. It's not doing too shabby. That's pretty close for not having any optical flow sensors or anything. It looks like it might be 3 feet away, maybe 4. That's totally acceptable for a GPS platform with no sensors other than barometer and GPS position fix. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be maybe 3 feet away. Maybe not even that. That's pretty close, man. Totally acceptable. Let's see here. I'll bring the gimbal up so you guys can see it come down. There we go. And yeah, wow, 2 feet away. I'm going to stop that. Hopefully I can stop it before it touches the ground. Excellent, good. It's still recording. I will bring it up here. All right. I think we're good now. Yep. exited Smart Flight. So I was able to save the recording. It's still recording. I didn't want it to stop, but that was pretty good. That was like a foot and a half off. That is not too bad for not having any optical flow sensors or anything. Got to give it credit, man. Doing very good. So we jumped down to 13 satellites. Closer I got to the ground, the higher I am, the more satellites I seem to pick up. So it's not the best GPS in the world, but it seems to be functioning pretty well. I just jumped up to 15 again now, back to 12, 13. It seems to jump around a little bit. We got 11.3 volts. Let's go ahead and take it up in the air. Okay, and what we're going to do is a speed test. I'm going to go as fast forward as I can. I'll let you know what the speed is in GPS mode. Full tilt forward is 22 miles per hour, 28, looks like top speed of 23 miles per hour. All right, let's go ahead and turn this around here. Still got good FPV signal. Let's bring it back, full tilt forward. And we're 21, 22, 23. So it looks like 23 is the top speed. I'm going to roll this way a little bit so we can line it up again. I will go ahead and turn it around. And this time we're going to put an altitude hold with no GPS. Remember guys, the moment I flip this switch, it goes into altitude hold. And that's it. There's no GPS positioning, so it's going to go fast. So I'm flipping the switch now. It's off. I'm pushing forward. It's screaming. Let's see where we're at here. 35, 42. Holy crap, 44. Let me just flip that switch. 44 miles per hour. That is pretty darn good, I would say. Let's turn this around. 44 freaking miles an hour. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Okay, so on the way back, I'm going to go ahead and flip the switch here again, guys. We're going to bring it back and see what it does into the headwind. Coming back, no GPS active. We are at 32. 33, 33, fighting some wind, 32, 33, okay, GPS back on, slowly coming to a stop, not nailing the brakes. That's very good. That's less harsh on the motors. I would say that was a pretty good test there, you guys. Let's bring her down. We're going to stare away from the sun now because I want to do what I call a gimbal showdown, which is where I go forward and backwards, rocking it as fast as I can to see if we can unstabilize the gimbal. Okay, and make any kind of jitter or judder possible here. So let's go back, forward, back, forward, back, back, forward, back, forward. All right, now let's go side to side. That's pretty good if it's not wobbling. I'm barely losing any altitude. Now here's the rough one, and this one's hard to judge, but I'm going to spin the stick. Instead of just go forward, backwards, pitch and roll fashion, we're going to actually spin the entire stick here. So it does have rollers on it, which makes it very easy. You can just pinch this lightly and do this. As you can see, it did turn a little bit with the body. So we'll go ahead and do this again. Let's see if I can bring it back. There we go. I don't think it's screwing with the gimbal though. I think everything is going just fine, you guys. We're at 11.1, we're at 11.1 volts. It still seems to be doing very good. And we know that it's got good range because I'll show you guys the range test at a later point. Right now we've been in the air approximately 8 minutes. We're still doing pretty darn good. That's the yaw speed right there. I mean, there's no way to adjust this. This is the yaw speed. Now, let's see if that yaw speed increases when you activate sport mode. Yaw. Yeah, a little bit more, that's for sure. Makes things a little bit more peppy. Let's do some pirouettes here. I'll go up and do pirouettes. Pretty clean. Let's try a bank turn while it's in sport mode. Seems to be doing all right. Very clean. Very clean. Excellent little flyer. This will give you an opportunity to see how it reacts when you're turning with a high-speed gimbal. I'll take it way down there a bit. Come back over the top here. And it's cruising, guys. We're 30 miles an hour plus here. We're scooting along, man. It's screaming. That's a bank turn now. That's both left. That's both sticks hard over. Either way. You can see it dancing. Alright, so GPS back on. We'll do one more return to home, and we'll call it, guys. So far, I am super impressed. I can see FPV on the screen. It's definitely not the brightest screen in the world, but it does work. It's sunny out here, and I'm still doing just fine. So let's hold the button down. We will go into return to home. Low battery. Auto returning. Now let's just bring it back. I don't want it to. Oh, is it gonna climb? I don't want it to climb. Alright, we'll just bring it back manually. I forgot it wants to go up to 80 meters. So the first LVC just kicked on. I think this battery is not nearly as good as when it first came. I think, you know, this one doesn't seem to get as long a flight as the other ones that I've been seeing. So this might have been accidentally left on, not on the charger for a long period of time. So it is what it is, man. It's really hard to perform lipo care. For those of you that are in the RC hobby, you know how hard it is to maintain lipo care. But you know, it still hasn't. Wow, that was weird. It like came right at me. See, I don't know where it's going now. Look at this. Oh, it's returning to home. It's still in return to home. Let's see if I can stop that. I don't want it to return. Stop. Auto cancel. It may be doing that. Yeah, auto returning. Okay. Let's see if I can cut that off. Did it cancel? Nope, it still wants to come back to wherever the RC was. That's where I was standing, so it was returning to my home position. That's alright, we'll let it stop. Good enough for me. 10 minutes of flight. This battery definitely needs to be replaced. But what are my thoughts here, guys? This thing's fantastic. It's actually a lot more impressive than I thought it was going to be for the price. And the fact that it does, it needed a very simple antenna modification. The FPV is holding up very solid. I'm not having any issues. I'm 1,000+ feet, still holding solid. I mean, this isn't a bird that you really need to take long range. If you know, any 1,500 feet would be acceptable. Anything over that just seems excessive for a bird this small. You know, it's not a toy though. And this is what I want to emphasize on. It's really not a toy. The only thing killing this bird when you first get it is the fact that this antenna on the 2.4 sucks. It's horrible. You have to make this mod. Luckily, it's a very simple mod to do. Now, you can also change this out to an SMA connector if you want to. That's up to you guys, you know. But it does function very well. It's, you know, and the screen. So between the screen and that one antenna, that was the major downfalls I could find of this. But I'm sitting here, it's sunny out, I can see. Even if I go into the sun, I can still see it's not the best. But I think with a nice hood cowl, just putting my hand like that made all the difference. So, like I said, guys, I think I can accept the fact that the screen is not very bright. This is a bird I'll probably keep for a while, have some fun with, and continue down this journey. So, thanks for sticking around and popping in on the channel. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Drone Worship is out of here. This is my second time filming this, and I have to tell you, I had just as much fun the second time filming it as I did the first time. That means I'm having an enjoyable experience, and that's something you just can't buy. An enjoyable experience is something you feel. You earn it through fun. So, alright guys, I'm out of here, man. Drone Worship, to the roo!
Last but not least, guys, don't forget breast cancer awareness. This is not spread around enough. I don't understand why they do it in such small amounts in the US. So this channel is progressively pushing forward to hopefully continue pushing breast cancer awareness. I will put a donation link if anybody would like to donate to any one of the cancer foundations out there. There will be a link in the description below.
There you have it, a film that could save your life with boobs. There's something for everyone. You're welcome, planet Earth.